Hey guys, we are Cameron and Destiny Ballard. We are personally sponsored by Greg and Leah Milliner on the Schweitzer Bissig Rush Collins West Diamond 3000 strong team. We are from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. We have a 3-year-old son and a little baby girl on the way. We both have a background in college athletics. We played college basketball and now do some professional recruiting full time. And so how we got into business, guys? I back in college, I was a sophomore. I went to school right here in Louisville, and I was on a list. I had a friend of mine that was able to get connected with Monica Resch, and they sat down and they made a list of about 20 people, and I was one of those 20 people. And Monica gave me a call and said, "Hey, are you looking for other ways to create some extra income on the side?" And I said, "You bet." And so from there, I was able to sit down with her and we kind of talked a little bit about business. And at the time, like I saw everything that I wanted. I liked the business, but just in that moment, I didn't see myself being able to build it the way that I wanted to because of everything else that I had on my plate in basketball. And I was trying to go WNBA. I was focused. I was ready, right? Because of that, just timing wasn't the best. But fast forward 18 months, my boyfriend at the time, he is now my husband, he moves to Louisville and he's like, "Hey, babe, we got to make more money." We realized that we're starting to get some bills and live life, and we needed more money. And he said, "I'm going to reach out to John." And so he reaches out to John and gets connected to him and was able to sit down with him a few times. And John agreed to mentor us and teach us on how to create some income outside of what we did full time. And so since then, congratulations, we were in business for ourselves, and so we were business owners, right? Well, we had that title, but our mindset did not reflect that. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure that we had a employee mindset. I don't even know that we were functioning people of like society at that time.
We
I'm not
weren't
sure.
that bad,
I'm
babe.
not sure what was happening. I know I was bad, but
Don't talk about us that bad.
but we did not have the right mindset to own a business. This was completely out of our comfort zone. It was something that we had never done before. We had never even I honestly had never thought about owning a business of my own, and so didn't know what that looked like. I wasn't sure, and so getting into this arena, we had, a different mindset coming in. We had a very poor and broke thought process. We everything that we did, everything that we looked at was more so for the right now. We wanted to if we wanted it, we wanted a pair of shoes, we bought it. If we didn't have the money for it, we financed it. Like everything was just it was very poor decisions, and that led to us just not having good finances. And when we got into this business arena, we learned in meetings like tonight that poor financial decisions don't lead to a big business, right? There's no way that you can have a big business while making poor decisions with your finances. And so we learned that business owners invest, right? They learn to invest in themselves first and their future. And I really wasn't sure what that meant. I remember John telling us that we had to pay $5 for a weekly meeting. And I asked Cameron, I'm kind of embarrassed. I asked Cameron, I said, "Why do we have to pay $5 to attend their meeting?" Right? Like, why do we have to pay that? This isn't our meeting. Why are we paying $5? And what didn't ever like occur to me in my mind was that John and Monica, they didn't kind of work with us to be an employee of theirs, right? They what they did was they agreed to mentor us and they opened a door for us to be able to have the same opportunity that they have and create some results for ourselves and be business owners. And no one ever handed them anything. So why did we expect them to do the same for us? Why did we expect them to pay our way, into creating success for ourselves? We're business owners. So we had to learn that investing in yourself meant exactly that. And so we had to shift our mindset. And one thing that we realized was that, being broke, I realized that a lot of the times I tried to justify what I was doing. I tried to defend myself. John and Monica would tell us to do certain things, and I would be like, "Well, babe, it's fine." Like, we would try to defend why we were doing things. We would try to rationalize, like, why, $10 going towards a meeting wasn't a good investment. Why it should go over here instead of over there. We would just try to do those things and make excuses instead of realizing that we had to shift our mindset and invest in ourselves, because putting ourselves first was more important, investing here instead of going to Walmart, Target, Kroger, and investing in someone else's business. We wanted to pay ourselves first. And that was something that we had to learn very early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that that business owners do is we had to learn that business owners invest and employees spend. And one of the things that I had to understand um, is when it comes to the reason why business owners invest is because they're looking for a return of investment. The reason why employees spend is because it's entertainment, it's something that's comfortable, it's something that they think they need or they want, or it's something that's an impulse buy versus something that's actually going to add value to them long term. And that's one of the things that for me and Destiny, we had to learn. We had to learn how to actually change that thought process about where our money was going. $5 worth of investment versus $5 um, when it comes to just spending, even with our time. Um, a lot of people don't think this, but when it comes to your time, where are you investing your time? We had to take time away from actually watching TV. I used to play the video game. Nothing wrong with playing a video game, but I used to play a video game about
All day, every
That's
day,
not true.
all the time.
2 to 3 hours a day, which is pretty much a lot of your day. When I actually knew that I can be reading a book, listening to an audio, um, watching a video that we have on the media app, to where we can actually use that time to invest into ourselves. And that's one of the things that I had to learn. And one of the things I had to understand as well is business owners were long-term thinkers and employees were short-term thinkers. And I kind of mentioned before when it comes to where am I investing my time and money. Uh, when it comes to the trainings, when it comes to a perfect example for me, long-term investment versus long-term thinking versus short-term thinking, is the messaging app. I remember when I first got in business, John told me, he said, Cameron, he said, I need you to start, dive into the system. And one of those ways is the messaging app. I need you to start sending me messages through this app, so that way we can be in communication. At first, that didn't make any sense to me because I had a phone. Hey, let's talk. I could text you. Why do I need this messaging app to communicate with you? That did not make any sense to me. Well, because I trusted him, and the reason why I trusted him is because he had the results that I was looking for, and because of that, I knew that he changed his habits along the way to create those results. So I had to do the same exact thing. So I had to go on trust and to be able to do that. Well, 5 years later, we have a team of 30 plus people, and if it wasn't for the messaging app, man, I would basically have an Amway job when it comes to reaching out to everybody on my team, and just when it comes to communication, because I had to talk to them on the phone all the time. I would have to answer text messages, but the messaging app I was able to manage my time a lot better. So that was like long-term investment versus short-term investment. Short-term, it didn't make any sense, but long-term, it's actually adding more value. And you can see with John, he has over 300 people on his team. That messaging app was able to help him compound his time a lot better. As a business owner, when it comes to going the extra mile, one of the things I found out is employees, they just look for the shortcut. They look more so for, hey, how can I make the most money without doing the least with doing the least amount of work, or how can I get the most value out of this, but not put in the most effort. And come to find out, they do that in everything. They do that in their marriage. They do that with their kids. But when it comes to business owners, one of the things I've seen is they always go the extra mile. You probably even heard some stories on the messaging app, like a Brandon Meredith going out and about one more time, and saying, hey, I'm not gonna come back home until I get one more contact. A message from Kyle Christoffel, same exact thing, like, hey, I need to meet one more good. I had to have one more good connection before I go home, and that's how a business owner thinks. And now here's the thing, another thing when it comes to going the extra mile and the shortcut. Employees look for an immediate result. Business owners says, hey, I'm not going to see anything right now, but 5 years from now, because of the compounding effect of going the extra mile, I will see an exponential result. And so that's the thought process that me and Destiny had to learn when it comes to going the extra mile and just the shortcut, having a shortcut mentality. And when it comes to that as well is just to come early and staying late. One of the things I seen that John and Greg did is they always came to events early, and they always were the last one to stay at the event. And that one of the things I've seen is for me and Destiny is we when we started doing the same exact thing, we started getting the most results out of what we were doing because we had the most time investment, we had the most money invested into what we were doing. So if Greg or John have a night out, or they did a meeting, sometimes we'll still stay on the Zoom just to figure out, hey, are they still going to go into some more information? They're going to kind of go the extra mile because we knew that that's how they operate. And because of that, we actually benefited from that because we had a extra mile mentality, and we were able to benefit when it comes to that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would also add that business owners, they pay themselves first and employees pay their bills first. And you may think, oh, that's kind of weird. Like you have to pay your bills, right? You have to make sure that you're, keeping your lights on and keeping your water on. That is correct. You do need to make sure that that's the case. But I vividly remember early on in our business when we were starting to shift our mindset and we were trying to figure out how do we make sure that we pay our bills? How do we make sure that we do our ditto, right? How do we make sure we do that? So obviously most people, the first of the month is the time when you have, your biggest bill, your mortgage, your rent, all of that come out. So I went to Leah Milliner, my upline, and I'm like, hey, Leah, we've got our rent due, and then I got this ditto, but I got to do my ditto. So I'm gonna do my rent later on in the month, and then I'm gonna do my ditto right now. And she realized, okay, Destiny, I love the fact that you're keeping your business on your mind. You're keeping that first. You're thinking like a business owner. She said, but one thing that you have to realize is you don't have to put that off. You can figure out how be a business owner and figure out how to make it all work. So one thing that Cameron and I realized is that we had to get our finances in order so where we would be able to pay both, right? We always made it happen. We were never late on a bill. That's one thing. We made sure that we had the finances together to where we always had our day one ditto. We always had our ditto in place. And we always paid our bills. Our lights have never gotten cut off. Our rent has never not gotten paid. And it's because we made that decision to put things in place to where we could do both. And that's a business owner mentality versus an employee mentality where you're like, hey, I got to pay my bills, so my ditto is going to have to wait, right? Sorry, upline. I know I told you that I'm going to do that, but it's going to have to wait because I have to pay my bills first. We had to shift that mentality.
And that's because we seen this business as a solution, not the problem. And what happens is most people, when they have or it's either this or that, they see the business as a problem getting in the way of them being able to pay their bills when it's actually the solution. And one of the things that for me and Destin, we struggled. I mean, we really struggled doing our volume out the gate, and it's because of bad decision that we made financially before and even after we got in business. And here's the thing. When we got in business with John and Greg, when I sat down with them and I said I wanted to partner with them, when I made the decision that I was going to have their back, that meant that I was going to do core 4. That meant I was going to actually commit to doing those things. And here's the thing, you guys. For me, I was the type of person that if I told somebody I was going to do something, I wanted to make sure that I have their back. I didn't want to be the person that actually said something but did something else. And when it came to our volume, here's the thing. That was if it's anything that challenged our integrity and our accountability, it was our volume. Here's the reason why. It's because when we first got in, just like you guys probably think, we didn't think that our upline could see our volume. And so we would say, oh yeah, we're going to have 100 points, by the end of the month. And we didn't.
Day 2 came, day 3 came, day 4 came, and still no volume.
No day 1 ditto. And we thought that, hey, that was okay because, they won't know. As long as we have 150 points at the end of the month, that's all that matters. But come to find out, they see that all the time. So when we found, and we didn't find that out until we actually got some downline, we're like, hey, they're not doing any volume. And so because of that right there, it showed me like, wow, like I haven't been a man of my word. If my upline see me as a leader early on, Greg see me as a leader, John see me as a leader, Brandon see me as a leader. So for me to be called a leader, and not have a day one ditto was unacceptable. For me to be called a leader and not have a 300-point personal, but at least at the end of the month, was unacceptable. So for me personally, for me and Destiny, we wanted to be the couple that if we said that we had their back, not only did we show it, we gave the extra mile to make sure that that's something they never ever had to talk to us about. So when it comes to those four basics, that's going to be talked about or has been talked about throughout this whole this team meeting. Here's the thing: we gave the extra mile when it comes to that because we wanted to have our uplines back, and because we had our uplines back, we knew for a fact that the people that we talk to, the people that we partner with, were going to have our backs as well.
Absolutely. Guys, business owners invest in themselves. And here's the thing, we did not get in this business as business owners. We did not get in this business having a business owner mindset, but we figured it out. And we learned very quickly in meetings like tonight that in order for us to have a big business, in order for us to do all the things that we see our upline do and strive to hit all the goals that they've done, we have to learn to invest in ourselves and shift our mindset, because this is our future. This is your family's future. This is what's going to get you to accomplish all the things that you've set out to do in life. And here's the thing, procrastination is a failure disease.
Yep.
Why wait? Figure it out now. Go to your upline. Hey, how can I shift my mindset? What are some things that I can do financially? What are some things that I can do on a personal level? What are some things that I can do to shift my mindset to be a business owner? Because I own my business. You are not employees in this arena. You are not employees of your upline. They want you to take ownership of your business and be a business owner and move your business forward. So we appreciate the time, guys. Thanks so much.